we're good. Hello, and welcome to Kai Chi Alchemy. You can call me Katchi. This is a space of love, y'all. Welcome or welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is, whenever this is finding you. I want to thank y'all for showing up. Thank you for co-creating community with me. Thank you for all of that engagement. And before we get started today with a reading from the Sacred Sites Oracle deck, to dive a little bit into your past, present, and future energy at the moment, I just want to check in with the collective that this is for. I had recently seen a video by, what's her name? Hello. Mary is Alien. She's great. Let me get this fan going a little bit. All right. So, she was talking about something about Epstein, I think. And in the context of that, was talking about the addicted lover archetype and the transmutation of that energy and what that looks like. And what she was saying, I was told that you were done and that you weren't going to keep emailing me, so I didn't respond. Also, my email books are going to be closed for the next 3 months, probably until about September. I'll put it in the info if you guys would like to keep track of that in real time. I'll keep those updates going there. And so Mary was talking about the process of alchemizing the addicted lover archetype. And basically what she said was that in order to grow from a little boy whose mom never told him no, and he always got what he wants, and he's always chasing after something, and feeling that kind of like entitlement and that expectation and that lack of real like discipline and self-control and willpower and all of that. And I've seen this play out in many ways, and it doesn't have to be specifically a man. It doesn't have to be specifically like a sexual or romantic vibe when that energy is playing out. But it just made me think a lot about all of the people that I know who would like come to me and kind of try to provoke me to anger because they know that they're more easily provoked to anger, and they resented me for like my ability to sit with their abuse and not react. And it made them feel like there was something wrong with them, like they were immature or something. And they would really try and like humble me and knock me down because they felt like that was fair, because they were like, it's not fair that you have this and I don't. It's just how I am. It's just how I was born. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think a lot of people, when they're in that energy, they're more in fight or flight than fawn and freeze. And fight or flight is, I think, a much healthier space to be in than fawn and freeze, a much easier space to get out of, a space of like a lot more connection to yourself and self-responsibility. So if you are, one second, let me get rid of this person that said hi. All right, I'm just gonna do 24-hour block on people like that for now. Excellent. Okay. So where was I going with that? So when people are feeling the desire to knock you, but really what they're doing is they're knocking you further into your survival response. So you might be going further into fawning, which a lot of times they like because then they just get stuff out of it. Or you'll go into freeze, which is kind of like isolation, and it feels like you're ignoring them and it's like not good. So they just keep trying to provoke you into the reaction that they have, but you don't have that reaction. and then they react even more, and then they feel even weirder about it, and then they want to make you act like them even more, when really they're just exhibiting the fact that they're in a healthier space than I am, and they are repeatedly knocking their head up against a wall, trying to do the same thing and get a different result. And so that's frustrating for me to witness, but I don't think it's always entirely just the freeze and fawn thing. I've done a lot of work to be able to get out of that space, and it is definitely like my default, I guess I would say, in times of stress. And so there is that. But I think ultimately, when she said, what you do to alchemize that is those boys have never just had a boner and had to just sit and stay. Oh, let me get rid of another one of these people that said I said hi. Another reminder, I will not be tolerating any of that with anybody at all whatsoever. With the passive aggression. There we go. Thank you. So, it's kind of funny. It's almost like on theme, right? So if I am in a space where I am not so reactive and people feel like that is something they want, and that's like some kind of indicator of maturity or power or control or something, um, I realized there's a very specific reason why I've developed that beyond the fact that I struggle with the fawn and freeze response. My day's going very well. Thank you, Naoa. Let me know if I said that, pronounced that right. How's your day going? Yes, indeed. Thank you for the engagement, Kim. I've been there. Um, So I realized that I have this particular skill set and this particular energy for a reason. And nobody really understood what was going on when I developed it. But it was this meditation. It was, you have a boner and you just sit with it. It doesn't have to be sexual or romantic specifically, again. It is something that we were talking about in a reading recently about like the energy of desire and lust and like wanting what you can't have and stuff like that. Um, and it makes you resent desire and it makes you resent the feminine energy because it makes you want something and you think you can't have that thing, right? And it's not that you can't have that thing, but sometimes in the here and the now and the circumstances, like sometimes you can't have that thing. So when I was in high school, I saw everybody treating each other like little kids. I saw my parents still acting like teenagers in relationships. I was like, I don't want to hurt people. This is nonsense. I'm not going to have anything to do with this. But and so until I was 19 years old, I was very intentionally avoiding dating and relationships. And it was very hard for me. I have a very heavy Scorpio spread going on in my chart, and I am who I am. And to repress that side of me is not only challenging, but almost dangerous, and it proved to be so. And I learned a lot from that. But also, I spent 19 years working very, very hard in many ways, but also in relationships wise, to have a boner and just sit with it. You know what I mean? Thank you, Noda. I appreciate it. Um, JRH, I'm not really sure. I need some context. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure you guys all can comprehend the concept of wanting something really bad, not being able to have it, and not being able to do anything about it. And you might want to disassociate, you might want to numb yourself out, you might want to distract yourself. That's usually what people do in that situation. Uh, like going after other relationships, using substances, sleeping too much, not sleeping enough, like television, like whatever you can do workaholism, like whatever you can do to numb it out and distract yourself. But the process of sitting with the intensity of your desire and doing nothing with it and holding it and holding it and just sitting with fire in your chest for a long time, that is the advanced meditation for the collective that this message is meant for today. You know what I mean? Is this a QA? Oh man, it went away. Short-term versus long-term gratification. Exactly. It's because you're practicing long-term gratification. And in every moment that you have that experience, it's extremely painful. And to the same degree, it expands your strength, your confidence, and your like felt sense in your body that you know that you can wait. And a lot of times people know that if they like cerebrally, if they wait, they get more marshmallows, right? But some people just can't wait and they just take the marshmallow, even knowing that they're screwing themselves out of the future that they want because they have no ability to hold back. So this is simple ish, not really. And it's definitely not easy. But it just helped me to realize that what a lot of people envy in me was created through a process that I don't think that they would be wanting, willing, able, like, I don't think they would choose to do what I did to have what I have if they knew what it took to have where to get where I've gotten, if that makes sense. But if you are desiring that and you do feel the drive and the fire in your chest to make that happen, and you have the confidence and you're gonna step into it, that's on you. You do that in your own time, and I'm super, super happy for all of y'all. No pressure. We all have our own timing, right? Spirit, please allow me to channel a message for this very intense collective here. Uluru. Oh, yes. Okay, so we had Externstein recently, and this is the almost identical card with the rocks and the rainbows and everything. So let's see what the general theme for this Uluru card is. I'm almost positive that this is located in Australia. So this would be page 180 from the south, Uluru, Australia. Okay. The energy focus is creativity, which is kind of what we were talking about. It's the desire, it's the Shakti, it's the expression, and if you just follow that, that could be a little page of onesie, you know? Good things, bad things may come with that. Don't want to be starting fires in the wrong places, in the wrong times. Location, Northern Territory, Australia. Okay, so let me read here a little bit on the past position, the lower world for Uluru. A creation yourself, you are also designed to create, be that through artistic expression, by birthing another soul, or by shaping the very world in which you exist. The collection of circles joined by pathways shown on this card represents the evolution and interconnectedness of all things human, animal, mineral, and elemental. Aboriginal Australians believe that before plants, animals, or humans came into being, their souls existed without knowing when they would take physical form. People were the last to be created by Rainbow Snake, also known as Old Woman, who pervades all realms. They were made to act as custodians of the natural world and to continue the creative process through dreamtime. Have you ever given up on a creative talent? Do you remember being told that your work was not good enough? Now is the time to express yourself again, as you will bring joy to those touched by your efforts. Exactly. So you had a dream, you have a dream, you will have a dream, and that dream is gonna experience resistance. And so you're gonna be tempted to give up, to be distracted, to numb yourself out, to tell yourself it's not possible, to tell yourself it's not worth it, to. But maybe you just have that boner of desire and you just sit with it. And you really sit with it. Not like to pass the time, not to numb yourself until you get to the future, until you get to the point where it is. Like to fully immerse yourself in that dream, in this moment, in the ways that you can in this moment, before it comes into fruition. And a lot of those things might, be taking steps to make it happen in the real world, but it may look very unlikely on the surface. So I guess the point here is when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to your desire, don't give up. Just don't give up. Sit with it when it's hard. Keep going when it's hard. Keep going when you don't know what you can do to keep going. Like keep the dream alive. Keep your vision focused there. You know what I mean? Middle world, the present position. Uluru is believed to have been created during dream time by the spirit people. One Aboriginal story recounts how the Windulka Mulga seed men came down from the mountains to help create the rock. This mirrors the beliefs of geologists that sediment from the Peterbilt Ranges consolidated to form this great rock hundreds of millions of years ago. Outside one cave at Uluru that has a number of Aboriginal paintings on its walls are two irregularly shaped stones marking a sacred birthplace. It was believed that the snake woman, Balari, would assist the labor of any woman who gave birth there. Rainbow snake, whose head looms large in the middle world, is a reminder to care for all creation. When people or animals did wrong, Rainbow Snake would rush upon them, either drowning them to make bays and rivers, or swallowing them and spitting out their bones to form rocks and hills. Remember that you will reap what you sow today. Yeah, put the energy where it belongs. Rainbow snake is interesting. The rainbow snake, the snake woman, is referring a lot to plasma. It's referring a lot to primordial intelligence, to the spirits that have assisted women in childbirth from the beginning of time, that have assisted the creation and evolution of species like Homo sapiens, like man today. And it is an energy, it's this rainbow energy that is held by the physical world. And sometimes it's creating things. And sometimes it's just holding a memory of something to be created in the right time, in the right place when it's activated. And that's what they were saying, right? Is that everything in the beginning already existed in this primordial energy, in this snake woman, in this plasma field. And at the right time and place with the right triggers, those desires, those creations are birthed into life, into the physical. And while they're not in the physical, we hold those memories and hold those dreams, even when they aren't being enacted. And that is the tension we're talking about here. We have to continue to carry the memory of everything and everybody and all of time and all of creation. We carry it within us everywhere we go. And we can think of that and feel with that as if it is a burden and a weight. Or we can think of it as fuel and potential and excitement and beauty. Hi, Miles! Me too. Yesterday was freaking crazy. I don't know, man. Okay, So continuing on with the theme of having a boner and just sitting with it. And then, okay, the upper world, potential, the future, Uluru. The circles at the top of the card represent the sun, the moon, and the stars, which also came to be during dream time. Know now that your dream time is not over. The Dreamtime ancestors taught their tribes, animal and human, how to perform secret ceremonies. When these ceremonies are performed, Dreamtime comes to those who celebrate them, and the land comes alive. Learn to link back to Dreamtime by seeking inspiration from the natural world and connecting once again to your ancestors, perhaps through a dream journal as described below, following their instructions to undertake ceremonies. Yeah, we sit with all this potential, with all of creation, with all of this plasma intelligence just sitting here inside of us. And it can feel like a fire in your chest. And it can feel like just such a desire and a pain that you're not expressed in the world like that. You haven't birthed that thing into the world. You're not experiencing physically that thing. But we become men when we sit with all of that Shakti and all of that potential and all of that desire and all of that creativity. And we learn to choose the time, the place, the circumstances that are aligned, and to tap into our hearts and feel into our intuition to make sure that we are moving from that place and enacting this electricity, this creativity, this manifestation, this generative energy from our minds. And we're serving our heart space, and we're serving our intuition, and we're serving the highest good of all. So we we can have something that we want, that we can see, that we can imagine. But there's many, many ways that that thing that we're imagining can manifest itself. And if we are so impatient that we aren't willing to generate the circumstances necessary for that highest timeline to exist, then we're just going to have that cheap, fast experience that's going to leave us feeling hungrier and emptier than we were before. And we eventually learn that lesson, or we don't. Some people just don't. I don't know. But definitely connecting to your ancestors and seeking instructions on what ceremonies particularly would help you to strengthen this ability and to improve your experience of this meditation for our advanced level collective here. And I'm going to read this particular ritual that was given in the guidebook. But I would recommend that if you have any connection to any lineage yourself, that you connect in with your guides, your angels, your ancestors, and find that for you. Oh, yes. Crow indeed. Okay, so this is a journal exercise. Interesting. It says record your dreams. By working with a dream journal, you show that you are willing to listen to your soul. Keep your journal by your bed, and before going to sleep, say, I now call to my dream allies. I request your help with whatever specific details. I will use this information with integrity and in service. Upon awakening, either in the night or in the morning, jot down short notes about your dreams, including, most importantly, any impressions of how the dreams made you feel. Keep it short and sweet, just enough to recall the dreams later. At the end of 1 week, review your dreams and give each a title, such as By the Ocean. Then look for any threads of meaning that run through the week. Does a pattern of meaning emerge? Do you feel called to do something about it? Pick one dream that particularly resonates and draw a picture capturing your sense of the dream. You could use abstract blocks of color or shapes, or draw individual objects, or a complete scene. Now watch as the answer to your dilemma emerges. Yeah, it's very much like giving over the process of deciding what this looks like entirely to your right brain, if possible. And also interesting about allowing yourself to connect to your dream time, which is something that we generally are very disconnected from for various reasons. We don't like get really good deep sleep and stuff. People use substances to sleep, whatever. And that can be challenging with that. But I feel like just in general, we all have a really suppressed and weak relationship to our dream space because it's a whole bunch of information that we aren't really encouraged to and taught to know how to utilize properly. It just seems like fluff, extra distraction, random. But all of that generative, creative energy, all of those dreams inside of you are ready to communicate with you, are willing and wanting to communicate with you. And if you remove the things that are preventing you from connecting to that dream space, then you can literally have your own answers, your own best answers, your own most productive answers, your own best and highest timeline answers come to you internally. You request it, you receive it from yourself. It's already there. But it's a little wonky getting through sometimes. Dream work is interesting. Definitely mugwort's been coming through really strong lately. I think I might post a little like spiritual herbalism video on that particular herb because it feels really, really important for everybody today. And it's so funny how that tied in with Mary's alien and Uluru and all of this. I definitely need to go eat something and live my life and do my day. Thank you, everybody, for putting up with all the weirdness in the chat and not letting it get us down today. Oh, man. Yeah, I've had some real intense dreams. I remember I used to only have nightmares, really. And I had a long period of time where I stopped dreaming. But back then, I had a dream where I saw my mom on a hill and there was like the silhouette from the sun. And she had this giant ant on her back. And it was like, like sucking her blood, like taking all her life force out of her. And I remember the kinds of ways that I would feel when I would wake up from dreams. It makes sense why people would want to block that kind of stuff out, right? But honestly, it was again when I sat with that pain and I felt that whatever that was, and confronted how uncomfortable it made me, that it became something useful, and I am grateful for that. Um, but I definitely personally could use a stronger, healthier connection to my dreams as well. So maybe I'll bring out some mugwort for y'all next time. We'll see what happens. Probably gonna go to the herb bar or something, figure that out. I hope you have I know it was super creepy. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Love, light, peace, and personal responsibility. Boop. Take